Well, here we are. It's the final day of the Transformers Generations War for Cybertron Golden Disc Collection reveals. It is the fourth day of this 4-day journey that we've had this week. And finally, the last chapter, the last pre-order has gone up. Chapter 4, as we predicted, right down to the box dimensions and a little extra accessory. Transformers Generations War for Cybertron Golden Disc Collection, Chapter 4, Terrorsaur. Now, this mold is an extensive retool of the Airazor Deluxe, and in order to circumvent the bones of the transformation of the Airazor, because Airazor is your traditional, I guess we'll call it goes all the way back to Jazz and Prowl and Cheetor, where the front of the vehicle or the front of the animal makes the chest, and the back of the vehicle or the back of the animal makes the legs. So in order to circumvent that with Terrorsaur's transformation, because Terrorsaur's transformation always it was the opposite, where the back of the robot made the front, they made a faux chest for the front of the robot mode that went in, I guess, Terrorsaur, pterodactyl mode. Is just there, and it works. It works. I mean, it's a very different kind of take and transformation of the original toy, but it works in this sense because at least it gives us a pretty dynamic looking robot mode. If I had one complaint, again, the wings are a little too big, but within that deluxe budget, I think there's only so much they could have done to fold it down, unless I'm missing something here, and maybe it can be folded a lot more down than we think, much like the Airazor mold. So that's something to be seen. There's a lot of joints on the wings you could see for articulation and stuff. Maybe it could be folded pretty down too. There is a lot of little pieces and parts there that maybe when someone gets it in hand, we'll get a better idea of it. Comes with his traditional gun that we see in the show. He looks fantastic. I'm very happy with how he looks. They did a lot of retooling here to achieve that design, along with a great animation accurate head sculpt. Now, people are wondering, is this going to be the only way to get Terrorsaur, or is he going to be available sometime later on? Now, we don't have any listings right now that indicate that he's going to be part of Legacy or some kind of mysterious Wave 5 or 4.5 of Kingdom, let's say. But you never know. You never know. It's something where this mold could pop up later on in the future. It's something that we just don't know for the time being. Although speculation is, well, we look at Tigatron and how he has a Kingdom release that's show accurate, and then we have this one here that is in the Golden Disc collection. That's the prototype, orange Tigatron colors. Maybe this Terrorsaur is the same thing, where this is some kind of specialty color scheme, and the main line release will be something that's more show accurate. Obviously, the colors that are being used here are pretty close anyways. Obviously, there's, maybe the dots on his chest could be a little more darker, but otherwise it's pretty much achieving how he looked in the show. I mean, how much more could they improve on it is really fine details at the end of the day, but nothing too major that would offset anything, in my opinion. Now, there's an extra accessory included, just like I predicted, because of the box dimension and how it's exactly the same with that of the Jackpot. That means that he's going to come with something extra. I figured maybe an extra accessory, maybe a Battle Master, could be something. In this case, it's a golden disc. What's interesting about it, though, is the golden disc that they include is the golden disc of the Vok as opposed to the Sounds of Earth. Now, I don't know why they went with that choice. Maybe there's some kind of story element to it. It's definitely not explained here, and we'll get into that in a moment. And considering that, on top of it all, this whole Golden Disc collection, the face of this, art that we're supposed to build up and everything is that of the Sounds of Earth Golden Disc. It's kind of a weird mistake in a lot of ways. It's an interesting choice that they went with that, even though that's, the other one is the face of the marketing. Either way, so we got the final chapter of the fiction here too. It's a big one, but it's kind of a mess. I mean, maybe as of this recording, it's a mess right now. Maybe they'll clean it up afterwards. It's on the Amazon.com website. There's a lot of grammar and spelling errors and run-on sentences and words that are put together, and I feel like they doubled up on a paragraph even, that we don't even get the proper conclusion of the story. I don't know, but I'm going to go through it quickly with you guys. I don't want to drone on forever about this, but essentially we'll jump into it and we'll try to make sense of this bad grammar and everything. So excuse me if I stumble with this one, because I'm having to correct in real time what I'm reading here. So Chapter 4, a terrifying conclusion. Terrorsaur. In this timeline, rather than perish in the lava pool, the lava protected Terrorsaur from the surge, infuses him with a powerful lava energy that gives him the ability to breathe fire. Scorponok and all the other Maximals and Predacons on Earth aren't so lucky, except for one, Tigatron. When Terrorsaur discovers the mutant Tigatron, he seizes the opportunity to form an alliance with the now ferocious warrior, setting a plan in motion to travel back in time and fulfill his true destiny. With his incredible new power and terrifying mutant Tigatron as his second in command, he could eliminate Megatron and take his rightful place as ruler of the Predacons. Terrorsaur, using the golden disc, discovers Tarantulas has installed a transwarp cell inside a Decepticon ship, the Nemesis. But where is this ship? Meanwhile, the Autobots, Jackpot, Sights, Road Ranger, and Puffer, who have been pulled to prehistoric Earth from various times and locations in space, learn of his plot and join forces to stop Terrorsaur. If they can locate the Nemesis ship first, they can prevent Terrorsaur from executing his plan and use the ship to travel back in time themselves, preventing the surge and putting everything in the right place again. Just as Terrorsaur and Tigatron finally locate the Nemesis, they're attacked from behind, and the Autobots, and there's a question mark here, Tigatron immediately begins to fight. Terrorsaur, though stunned, sees members of a faction he thought long dead, quickly takes flight to counter the attack. Kind of a mess there. I don't know if that Autobots part is supposed to be there, and Tigatron is combined. I hope they fix this in the next couple of days, or maybe in the next couple of hours. Anyways, I continue. In the chaos of the battle, Terrorsaur drops the golden disc. Tigatron races over to retrieve it for his commander, but when he touches it, something happens. The memories of the noble, nature-loving Tigatron come flooding back. He remembers everything. He knows what he has to do. He turns on Terrorsaur, helping the Autobots defeat the evil Predacon. When the battle is done, Tigatron explains to the confused yet grateful Autobots who he is, what he thinks happened to him, and what got them here. The new allies realize even if they go back in time, the quantum surge is still coming and will still wipe out everyone. The only way they could save the future is by figuring out a way to suppress the blast. Now there's 2 paragraphs here. They repeat themselves despite the fact that they have different images, so this might not be the end of the story, but I'm still going to read this last paragraph and you take from it what you will. Tigatron has a plan, but the Autobots have to trust him. He and the Autobots travel back just before the surge. Tigatron sends Puffer in a pod with the ship's transwarp drive away from the imminent blast. He steers the Nemesis directly into the explosion, absorbing as much of the force of the blast as its inception as he can. The crash destroys the Nemesis ship and everyone inside. And it ends on that. Now, there's an extra paragraph here, but it repeats the paragraph before, and it shows everyone cheering. So I go, did everyone in the ship die, meaning everyone that was in the Nemesis, which was supposedly at the time just the Seeker cone heads, which were supposedly on the ship when the Nemesis crashed initially? Is it implying that all these characters that we met today are all dead? I feel that there's a piece missing here. Very weird. And again, the grammar and the run-on sentences and the repeating itself over and over, it's kind of messy. Hopefully this will get cleaned up and we'll get a better idea of what's going on. I'll probably do an update on the stream this Saturday coming up if there is an update. But this is how it ends. Again, it's kind of messy what goes on here, but hey, cool pterosaur figure. Now, they mentioned that the pterosaur figure is lava infused, so is this supposed to be a lava infused color scheme, and maybe we'll get something that has a little more greens and purples on it later on? We don't know. It is to be figured out. Now, as of this recording, it is still available on Hasbro Pulse, probably will sell out very quickly, and on Amazon. $22.99. Again, same story. Pre-orders are open now and will ship out March 1st, 2022. That is going to be a nail on a lot of people's wallets all in one shot, but this is some gorgeous looking stuff, even if it kind of ends, supposedly, we don't know yet, on a downer ending. I feel there's just a piece missing in this chapter. Anyways, guys, hope you're hyped about this. Let me know what you think. This is very interesting. So we finally got Pterosaur, a guy that's been much needed. And if you're not a fan of this, I feel at some point, some third-party company or, you know, Takara is going to get around at one point to all of these characters. Might take 5 years, but something will happen. Either way, check it out, get hyped, and this brings, at least we think, a conclusion to the Golden Disc Collection Amazon exclusives.